It's little scalpel out, baby. Let's fucking go. Guys, I freaking recorded like a 20-minute video yesterday, and there was something wrong with my OBS, and my whole screen was black. So, I'm giving this another shot. It's probably not going to be as long or in depth. I just want to freaking talk about what I want to talk about, and that's it. Um, Guys, yesterday was a really great Friday. Long story short, last Friday was a very terrible tilt day for me. I went off the fucking rails, man, and I really spent last weekend um, in the morning sessions of this week, kind of like learning a little bit more of why um, that day happened. And like on Monday, I had another tilt day. I think it was even worse than Friday. So I learned that I have a big problem with protecting my gains and learning when to slow down when my edge starts to diminish or when the market slows down and cools off, because that's what happened this week. The market cooled off substantially compared to like the price action and the breakouts that we were seeing last week. The beginning of this week was super slow except for yesterday. Thursday we had SOGP, which ran about 300% at the open market and then closed in the after hours super strong. So coming into Friday morning, I was definitely ready for some more action. And guys, there's the plays that I'm gonna show you are just how shit is fucking works, man. This is how my strategy works when it's working, when the market's hot. And what I learned is that I struggle to pull off the brakes, to size down when things are not breaking out the way that I'm gonna show you in these plays right here, because this is how I envision my setup and my strategy to work. And it wasn't on Friday, last Friday, and it wasn't on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It wasn't playing out like this. And I just keep hammering. I kept hammering plays with the same size, even more, and it just wasn't making sense. So that's really the work that I was doing this week, is to figure out kind of how to act in a drawdown, how to execute in a drawdown, and the adjustments that you have to make. But on a technical level, guys, I really want to show you these trades. God, they were so nice, and I was really proud of myself for how I executed them and how I managed them. Um, and if I would have been more patient on those tilt days and just not tilted, I would be in a better position in my prop firm. But I'm grateful that I'm in the opportunity right now to learn those things, because eventually when I'm funded and when I'm making real income from this, I don't want to act like that in a drawdown again. I want to know how to act. So I'm glad that I'm getting those experiences now. But let's just jump right in, man. Again, we had SOGP Thursday night, close strong into after hours. Didn't really see much from that coming into yesterday, but long story short, guys, at 6:30, I seen GMHS make a big move. This thing made a big move in pre-market and pretty much held its gains coming into 6:30, and you can kind of see that I drew this downtrend here. I'm like, okay, just trying to get a bigger picture of what's going on. And to me, we were breaking out of this downtrend. You can see it broke out here on the 5 minutes, really small, but immediately pulled back, and then we're ripping right here. And I was interested in that next 5 minute, the first fresh 5 minute pullback. So yeah, there's all this action here, but when it breaks out of a downtrend like this, and this is a fresh move to me, and that's the play that I wanted to play. I wanted to take that first 5 minute flag, and that's exactly what I did on it, guys. I'm not going to spend too much time because this is getting repetitive, but as you can see, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. This is just how it needs to look, man. These are the perfect examples of when the stars align, how my setup is intended to play out. Now on this one, I was kind of expecting a 5 minute 3 bar right here. So what I've been trying to do is work my timing to where I get in on what I call a push candle. And by what I mean a push candle is focusing on the 5 minute chart. I want to see this candle, for example, push for new highs. That's my push candle. That's the candle that I want to get in on and have the timing to get in when that's happening. I don't want to get in, let's say at the beginning of this pullback candle and then sit through like 5 to 10 minutes of pullback and then maybe it goes my way. I don't like doing that anymore, man. I'm trying my best to learn the timing so that and I didn't. So since this was the very first pullback, I'm always expecting that we might get a 3 bar, which pretty much is that big ignition candle right here, a candle, a pullback, and then this next candle breaks for new highs. That's kind of the 3 bar. So 1, 2, 3 bars, the push candle. Now, how I have to get in on those is I have to use the 1 minute because, I mean, how are you really gonna play the 5 minute? You're gonna be like, oh, this is pushing green. I'm just gonna get in. No, I kind of used the 1 minute as a guide, so I anticipated it there a little bit. Because guys, when these 3 bars used to happen, they used to leave me. They used to just fucking leave me, and it drove me nuts. And I'm like, I had to figure out a way to play those while still managing my risk. And in this instance, I was looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high in this area, and I could risk the low of this pullback. I ended up just taking a full position on that and playing this 5 minute flag in that manner. And it did end up working out. But I'm going to kind of show you a different example later on what I really mean about taking the entries off the 5 minute and working on getting good timing and getting in on that push candle. So as you can see, this is looking like a push candle. But we ended up still kind of consolidating, going sideways. But I'm still risking the low of this pullback because if this breaks, then it's going to continue to pull back, and I don't know where it's going to stop. And I want to, I don't want to be in when that's happening. So I wait for this. So you can see here's the 5 minute flag right here. The base is this low right here, and that's what I want to use as my risk off. So if I really wanted to have better timing on this play, I could have waited to get in on this candle. Now here's our push candle. And I'm looking at the time right here, right? I'm always looking at this time. This 5 minute candle is about to close. So once that 5 minute candle opens and this based, I want to get in on that next candle, that push candle. That's what I want to see happen. If it doesn't push and it starts to come down and test the low of this candle, then it might just continue to pull back more. In that case, I just need to take my small loss, maybe look for a re-entry. But the fact that I was already in, what I wanted to see was this be the push candle. Break that first 5 minute candle to make a new high, and then ultimately make new highs on this flagpole right here. And guys, that's what happened, man. Beautiful breakout right here. Look at that, man. That's a beautiful play. I had my finger on the trigger ready to get out. Again, I'm super clear and disciplined with my risk off, which is right here, very simple. I'm also the same with my take profits, guys. Once this thing breaks that new high, that flagpole, that's where I take my profits at, man. Can it go up? Yeah, it can keep going, but also I've seen a million times where we stall out, make a lower high right here, and it come down and freaking end up in a loser. So as you see, really nice breakout right here. Got a super nice push. And that was my first trade of the day yesterday, Friday. Started to pull back again right here. Here's the second 5 minute flag. I just nailed this first one, so I was not really interested in trading the second one, especially with that big topping tail right there. But I kind of kept it off on the sideline. Here we go. We had another play here. Penny stock. Not really interested in playing those because I need at least 10 cents a share on these, and it's just getting really tough. So I don't even waste my time, man. At least at the moment. Here's a couple losses I took. I was interested in this one. This was after 8 a.m. volume coming in. Had pretty decent volume. I think it had some news. Nothing crazy here, but the reason I took this trade was because I was able to time this a little better. So as you can see, we're coming down. We're testing the 5 minute 8. I'm not taking an entry yet because I want to see the 5 minute 8 hold. I want to see this red candle close. It kind of pause on the pullback and then start going back to the upside. And then in that instance, you see I'm watching the time right here. We got 10 seconds left on this 5 minute candle. Once the next 5 minute candle opens and it gives me an indication that price is starting to reverse higher, that's what I took an entry on that candle, and I'll just risk the low of this pullback. So that's kind of how I played this one. So you can see once this was a push candle, so I went ahead and took an entry. I also had the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, so that's kind of that confluence that I like. And I'm simply risking the low of this pullback, guys. I think I get stopped out here. I got stopped out once. I even tried it again because it looked like it was holding at this level. I was like, oh, it barely stopped me out. I tried again. And then I got stopped out again. Just didn't work. I was done with it right there. I'm like, all right, I really just wanted to see like this candle push, maybe come test VWAP, this level right here. But it just didn't do it. I gave back a little bit of gains from that prior trade, but, I didn't tilt, man. I didn't get tilty, okay? I was just like, you know what? I tried my setup. I was still feeling pretty confident. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be patient now and wait for the next setup. And here we go again. GMHS, another opportunity. Now, the difference was here is look at how we just pulled back into 8 a.m. Kind of got a downtrend look again. Same thing that happened over here. It was pulling back. I'm not going to buy any dips on this. When I got interested on this was when we broke out of that downtrend, and look at the increase in volume here. Much higher than what we were trading at 7 a.m. So the sharp increase in volume right here, I'm like, okay, I definitely want to see a 5-minute flag on this. And guys, that's exactly what happened. On this one, I timed it a little bit better. Let me kind of see when I took my entry here. Well, so now the difference here is look at the support stack right here. We got VWAP, the 5-minute 20, and the 5-minute 8. Really nice, tight right here. And I kind of wanted to watch the 1 minute to see if we were going to get like a nice wick, a nice push right here. This is kind of what we were getting. I was being patient. Maybe that first 1 minute candle to make a new high for an entry. But I kind of got into the habit of anticipating my entry on this one because we had a nice wick in this area. I'm like, okay. I think I took maybe a starter. Yeah, I took a starter there. I was like, if we break that first 1 minute candle to make a new high and we start to curl right here, I'll add some more size. Risking the low of this pullback, keeping it simple again. I went in full size right here, 500 shares. Pretty decent position for me. And guys, super simple trade right here. I have 238s. I'm risking 5 cents a share, man. And what was better on this one is I had more. The incentive on this trade was to break the top of the flagpole, but then also clear out that previous pre-market high. So when we see this candle, we want to see it push, break this, and break that. So now I have 2 targets on this one. My first target was the top of the flagpole, and then I also wanted to see it if we had some strength come and test that previous pre-market high. So again, super low risk trade, but the upside was 5 to 10 times more. So I was risking like less than $50 on this trade, but it turned into a really big winner for me. I'm watching the timer here again. This 5-minute candle is about to close. If this one isn't the push candle, that next one, I definitely want to see that one start pushing to be confident in the trade. If it kind of starts pulling back and coming down to test this, I'm just going to take my loss, man. Here we go. Okay, watch this closely. That 5-minute candle closed. Here's the new 5-minute candle. We want to see this push. We want to see it break that 5-minute candle to make a new high right here. Test this level and then test this level. There's that first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Boom. Here's your trend line. You want to see it break through that. These are just little things that I want to see to like keep me in the play, man. Got some resistance right here in 250s. I was being patient. I'm like, I really want to see the top of this flagpole. I'll take half right there, and then I'll take half at the top of this level right here. Starting to get a good push. Here's a new 1-minute candle. Want to see that push? Boom. Took half off right there. Push it. We just ripped right through, man. Boom. Off the chart, baby. Let's fucking go. Look at that, man. And guys, you know, some of this is luck, man. Like, that's a big move right there. You're not always going to get that. But the setup was the same. I knew what I was risking. My risk was right here. You know, I don't really want to see it break below that and then come test VWAP again. Guys, I just keep it so simple, man, because I'm able to do this over and over and over again. But this, when the market is hot, is how these trades can play out. And if you can just be patient and disciplined when the market slows down and fucking have some self-control and just try your best to stay focused and envision the times when these plays play out like this right here, that's what profitability is in my mind. As long as you can keep executing on your setup, when it's not there, being able to take your foot off the gas, that's what I'm learning. And I'm telling you that I think like that's the big barrier that stands between me and really taking off with this shit. But anyways, I got one more trade for you guys, and then I'm just going to call it and enjoy my weekend and study a little bit more on my own. This was at the open. I was chilling, man. I was chilling going into open. I was like, oh, I might not even take a trade. But guys, I seen my setup again, and I was confident. So, you know, here's that kind of like that first. This is that very first 5 minute flag. You don't have any red candles, but this is still a valid 5 minute flag. That would have been a nice play. I missed it. Just didn't take it. But guys, once I see this thing pull back again and set up a more proper 5 minute flag, that's when I got interested. So I was interested right here. So this is like your very first pullback out of the open. Broke out a little bit, but it didn't just go freaking, it didn't just rip away. It immediately started to pull back again. It came and tested the 5 minute 8. Now here is what I'm talking about with timing right here. I don't always want to get in as it's pulling back. You know, I want to see that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, a very basic signal that price is starting to reverse, because what can happen is the next candle can just go lower. The next candle go lower, lower, lower. Me waiting for a reversal indicator just gives me a much more comfortable and better position to manage my risk. Now, what was even better with this one is I was looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high on a fresh 5 minute candle. Here we go. One more second. That candle closes. Now, here's the low of the pullback I'm expecting to be my risk off. I want to see this be a push candle. And I want to get in on that push candle because that's really good fucking timing. That's really good timing. I was like, okay, if I see this first 1 minute candle to make a new high, even more important, if you're fucking nervous to take this, because I have seen this right in front of my face and sometimes hesitated and just choked up in the moment. Guys, I started small. I broke the ice. I took a little starter right here. It was very important that I did that. Because once you just take your starter, that takes like 90% of the nerves away. Because you're already in. And this is your setup, man. This is my setup right here. So there's no reason to be hesitant here. That first 1 minute candle to make a new high, I just went ahead and took an entry. I'm like, all right. If I start seeing like a nice bigger push, then worst case, you can add into that. You can add into the strength rather than jumping in a massive full position and then it immediately going against you and you're losing on your biggest position. So I went in here and I just took a starter right here. And actually, I don't think this was just a starter. I think I just took small size. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play this, but I'm going to take small size, keep the emotions low. I'm already big green on the day, and I didn't want anything to spiral out of control. It is Friday, too. Guys, I got stopped out right there. Real quick. Got stopped out. I had a very strict risk. A penny below the low of that candle. I always set my stop. A penny below. It can fucking stop me out and go to the moon. But this is just how I do it. That's just how I do it. I keep my stops very disciplined. And that's for me, man. That's just to manage my downside. But I was still watching. I'm like, okay. We didn't really break down. It just waked me up by a penny. I'm like, okay. I had small size, small position. No big deal. And guys, worst case now, I didn't just take a huge loss right there. I took a small loss. And I can still get back in. If it starts to show strength, I can get right back in. And if we start to, reverse in the right direction, maybe I can even add in a little bit more. So this was important to me, and the big note here is just I broke the ice. I tested the water on small size in case it wanted to just immediately go against me. I had small size, a loss that I can just fucking brush right off and not get emotional while still remaining focused on the setup. And that's exactly what I did, guys. Look at this. I'm like, okay, we're kind of holding that level right here. Looks good. Still holding up. Came and tested that level again, held again. Holding up at this level. That's where I got interested again. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to try this again because we tapped it 1, 2, 3 times. We're holding up that level again. Once we had that first 1 minute candle to make a new high again, I took another entry. I tried it again. I'm like, you know what? I'll risk it again. I'll try it one more time. I put the stop right back there. You can see my stop right below the low of that pullback. Super disciplined again. And here we go, 15 seconds left in this candle. I want to see that next candle be the push candle. And I even think I added a little bit more here. So I'm in small size right here. I didn't take anything crazy on this one. I should have, man. This thing fucking ripped. I was watching. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to like this play. I want to see this. I want to see this 5 minute candle be the push candle. First thing to do would be to break through VWAP. I had 2 targets at 350s right here. This very clear resistance levels right here, and then new high a day. I think I'm waiting to add some size right here. I added, I'm sorry, just add a little bit more. Added a little bit more right there. So I'm just sitting on 200 share, guys. Nothing too crazy. But I was risking about 10 cents a share. Yeah, I really didn't have that much risk on this one at all. But the upside was so much bigger than my risk that it didn't even matter, man. This still turned into a big winner for me. Got some resistance at VWAP right there. And you see a big bidder came in at that level too, kind of around my entry. Big bidder was supporting it. I was telling myself, like, I want to see this thing break through the VWAP. If it kind of comes back down and starts to come back and test highs, I wouldn't like to see that. Now you see we're getting a good push here. And I was being patient, guys. I've been so much more patient for my targets, man. I used to just like be like, oh, this is kind of good. I'll take some profits right here. No, I want to see my targets, man. I want to see my targets get hit. Boom, there's one right there. I took half off, and I just want to see this thing squeeze through. I wanted to see it squeeze through the highs right here. Being very patient to let my targets play out. Let the chart do what the chart's going to do. Here you go. We're starting to get another push right there. Boom. Took the rest off right there. Guys, this thing ended up going up to freaking $10. But yeah, man, I mean, such beautiful trades. And again, I've been in a little bit of a drawdown. But man, I had such a big day yesterday for the confidence. And guys, just everything you've ever heard, man, about freaking drawdowns and then about, being patient for your setup and being able to step off the gas. Like all these little lessons, man, I'm freaking seeing them for real now. And, it is giving me confidence for the future because I'm like, if I survive this drawdown, I had a really big day on Friday. And I really want to come into next week just poised and patient for my setups and just executing them in this way. And if it's not there, learning how to slow down, how to step off the gas, and how to size down when things are starting not to work out. But guys, that's all I got for today, man. Really freaking beautiful trades. I hope you guys like these and kind of understanding how I'm trading these, and maybe they help you. That'd be fucking cool. That's it. Little scalpel out. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.